Hey guys, this should be the final part of the restoration on this Stromberg Carlson radio. The paint had plenty of time to cure up and I reinstalled this piece of metal here. Got the dial cord back on. Now the paint is getting scratched a little bit along the top as it goes back and forth, but I don't think this top edge is really visible when the radio is all back together. We'll find out shortly. I did soak these rubber pieces that hold on the glass in some Armor All for a couple days. And it did seem to make them more pliable. So I'm going to pop them back in now and then put that dial glass back on. A little bit stubborn to get them in. See, I think I'll have to grab a screwdriver. The way these work is there's a little rubber nub there and you need to mush that through the sheet metal so that it grabs on. I finally got these rubber pieces back on. I found the trick was to push those little nubs through the holes as far as I could and then grab them with the end of these needle nose pliers and just tug them through the rest of the way. So now I can reinstall that glass. That's right. I guess the best way to do that is to mush the tops over a little, slide it down, like so. That's much better looking than when I started. So a few more things to do. One, I want to clean up all the bearing points and put a little grease on them, like where the tuning shaft goes here. And so a little bit of cleaning to do on the chassis. I cleaned one side off with Q-tips. Cleaned it real nice. I want to get the other side. And buff out the Bakelite cabinet. I just buffed out the cabinet a little using some Novus number 2. The cabinet was pretty clean to begin with, so it didn't take a whole lot of effort. There are a few scratches, unfortunately. But that's to be expected. We got one here, one there, but nothing too bad. No cracks. That's the important thing. And there are some odd discolorations here, but that seems to be just built into the Bakelite. Maybe it's a manufacturing flaw, I don't know. Not that noticeable. I was tempted to pop the top of this off. It turns out that this is actually made from 2 pieces and they're held with these pegs and these horrible clips because I wanted to clean in this groove here, but I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to tempt fate. I tried briefly getting this one off and they're on there really, really tight. Last thing I want to do is break them off. So I'm just going to use a toothpick and clean that up in that seam as best I can. And I'm ready to put the radio back together.
26th and 27th.
I finished buffing out the cabinet and cleaned out all the nooks and crannies as best I could, and then put the radio back together. I've had it playing for a while. It's playing just fine.
Back to back to back.
The only thing I don't like about this radio is the dial is not that bright. There's just one dim bulb over here on the side. I turn off the camera light and the overhead light. You'll see it's just not illuminated very brightly.
chase, and it's the quest for the cup.
I suppose I could use a different bulb in there,
32-ounce blue souvenir cup.
and it would be brighter.
Through all eternity.
Otherwise, if there's any kind of light in the room, you can see it just fine with that metallic backing to the dial.
En estas posadas, prepárate para todos tus invitados. Precio de 92, 12.40 ya.
So I'm going to call this project done. I hope you guys enjoyed this little series on restoring a Stromberg 1101.
Change it for your stretch clothes for your conjugal